Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Naaman with the DC Camp. Branch of Great Millstone, back for another video. Let me check my volume. Yeah, it's good. Alright, but first and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakahawadash, and of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who are well. Salutations also go out to the fellow Arkham that are out there on highways and byways, and that also post numerous videos on a daily that go out and help push the truth throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, in order to wake up the remaining hopefully elect, because time is very short. All right, this is copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so all right, to the video, and this Jake here is going to tell you what we've been telling you. You know, all the shit going on in the world, all the turmoil, all the chaos. Guess who's at the center of it? That's right. Here we go.
If white folks would have just left everybody alone and went to Antarctica or Iceland or some crap, Greenland or some crap, to start your own America there, wouldn't nobody care. Don't nobody care if you want to have an all-white America, but leave everybody else alone to have their own too. That's the problem that you seem to completely miss all throughout the current time and in history. Nobody gives a damn if you just leave everybody else alone. Do you understand that you are in the middle, you little pale-skinned vampire? You are in the middle of every global conflict there has ever been. Every assassination, every coup. You are in the middle of all of the messy shit, all the time. You are at the center of it. When people start investigating, oh, well, I wonder what happened here. I wonder who did this. I wonder how this came to be. Oh, lo and behold, look who's at the center of it, sitting in the damn middle of the room, in the middle of the mess, like a damn mischievous toddler, looking stupid in the face. White folks, specifically white Americans. But I want black people to remember something. White Americans want you to be exactly like them. Mm-hmm. The reason being, how that started, is because they are Europe's rejects. They didn't just leave. They think that they want.
And he makes a good point. Some of us, including myself, had speculated that that was another reason why Obama was put in there, because all these decades and centuries in America, who could blame us? All right. But oh, here we come with this motherfucker. All right. And of course, he was brought in to what? Not do for us, but to the LGBTQ and basically anybody else but us. All right.
I want you to believe that they just left to start America on this noble trip. No, they were kicked out. They are Europe's rejects. Mm-hmm. They were removed, thrown out, tossed out from Europe. So they have no...
So even their fellow Edomites couldn't stand them. That goes for other places like the Dutch in South Africa, the Brits in Australia. Look what they did to them. Everywhere they go, Canada, look wherever they go.
Place to go but America. So this is why they try to divide you from everybody else in the world. They create negative stereotypes for you. They create negative propaganda for you. They condition and brainwash you into believing the same propaganda. So much so that all the black people now in current time uphold all the negative stereotypes, uphold all of the negativity and bad habits that we have in this community today. We are seeing the result of that historical propaganda play out.
And what scripture is that? Oh boy, can't let that go by. All right. What did Yahushua say? Even back in the pagan Roman Empire, which this is a revised version of that. Let's see. What is? How about I get Matthew? All What does it say? Ye are of your father, the devil. He's talking to Israelites here. Who was over them at the time? There you go, Edomites, Romans. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. You know from history, and even up to current times, it's a whole lot of projection when it comes to the so-called white man. Let's just go to what I'm talking about real quick in psychology. I just want to not give my own, let's see, whoops. Let's see. Bear with me, it's a little slow. I have let's see. Come on. Okay. Apologize for it being so slow. Oh man, come on. Otherwise, I don't have any protection, but for the purpose of this, man. There we go. All right, let's see what comes up. Apparently, nothing. What the hell? I apologize. What the hell? Oh, man. Let's try this. All right. Let's see. Here it is. Psychology example. Psychological projection is a defense mechanism where individuals attribute their own unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or impulses to someone else. It's a way of unconsciously dealing with internal conflicts or negative traits by assigning them to others instead of acknowledging them within oneself. That's big when you're dealing with the so-called white man. All right. Just so you know. Continuing on.
Play out now because you got kids that you can't even be positive with. You got adults that you can't even be positive with. And somehow we all sit up here, oh, well, it's the dang kids, these dang YNs, and it's the dang women, it's the dang men. No. You're actively contributing in what they want you to contribute in. Divisiveness. We are living and breathing the long-term effect, the result of brainwashing. But you still thinking it's a conspiracy theory, right? Let's go back to the pale-skinned vampire.
Well,
we don't care about your sundown.
What is a conspiracy? Psalms 83, right? knowing who, he certainly doesn't know this, knowing who we are, you can see how this has been designed to keep Jake going off. He's right about the divisiveness, all right? Look at what they did with feminism. As a result, look at how it affected our group as opposed to everybody else. Mm-hmm. So you mean tell me that wasn't a conspiracy?
Towns, we don't care about none of your little racist habits, none of your little racist thoughts. We don't care if you would just leave everybody alone. But you don't know. You seem to think the poor pale-skinned vampire, the poor whites, you know, because they kind of slow in the brain, right? They kind of slow. The poor whites, for whatever reason, believe still that nothing's happening in America. And they believe this because it's not happening to them. You know, that's funny. Because during slavery, those same whites, oh, well, it's not so bad. We only essayed 1,000 of your women today. It's not that bad. We only executed 1,000,000 children today. We only essayed 1,000 children today. We only chopped off the foots and castrated 20,000 of your men today. It ain't that bad. Oh, I don't see what the hubbub is about. It's the same thing, just evolved. It's the same thing. We're dealing with the same kind of people. Now they just troll you. Now there is a marketplace for Black trauma. There's a marketplace for Black outrage. There's a marketplace to keep you triggered. There's profit margin in it. People can post videos on these apps triggering you and make money. Let them have their racism. Let them have their sundown towns. Let them have a white country build a Black one. Let us have our Black sundown towns then. Let us.
Now, is that going to work? No. We tried that, at least the first part of that. All right? And that's the whole thing. Even if we were to do that today, I remember, how many years ago? I believe it's been within 5 years that a group down in Georgia somewhere was going to build their own township. Never heard anything else about it. You know, if some of you know of that, please leave, in the comments about just what happened to that. Because I could never find anything on that. All right. But no, it's never going to work because of who we're under. All right. Remember, we're under the curses. Of course, he does not know this. All right. This is a spiritual battle, and it has been. All right. And until those curses are lifted, there's nothing we can do on our own. All right. To accomplish what he's talking about.
Everything they gonna have, we should have the equal to it. Stop complaining. This is my message to Black folks now. Stop complaining about what they doing. Just match their energy.
Doesn't work like that. I
love it when some of my brothers and sisters are coming out and spitting facts in real time. Even if some people will feel offended. Because you know what? The late Muhammad Ali once said that they really hate us, but they don't want to leave us alone. Right now, the people of color want to be left alone. And I'm coming to understand some of the...
And two, they love mocking us. I just learned before doing this video, the state of New Mexico here in America is going to give the survivors of an experiment that was conducted like 80 years ago, $100,000 reparations, and their descendants. They can apply. I don't know how much of that, if not all, they're going to get, but they've already passed that. So here's another example of everybody else gets it, but when it comes to us, no. But anyway, I'm not going to go too much further with this because, I just wanted to get that out there. And he said something interesting. So I went to my old friend, I'm just kidding, ChatGPT, and I asked, what nationality, what group of people could you compare to a vampire? And it just so happened it gave me the answer. Lo and behold, look at this. How white people exhibit the same characteristics as vampires. The idea that white people exhibit, let me see, can I get, I've never done it before. Let's see if I can get it to, let's see. Do they have a, let's see, maybe this is it. I've never tried it before.
The idea that white people exhibit the same characteristics as vampires is a metaphor that has been explored in various cultural, literary, and political critiques, particularly in post-colonial and Afrocentric thought. It's not meant to be taken literally, but symbolically, highlighting how vampire mythology can mirror certain historical behaviors or systemic patterns associated with European colonialism and white supremacy. Here's a breakdown of how these comparisons are drawn in critical theory or symbolic discourse. 1. Blood-sucking equals exploitation. Vampires feed off the blood of others to sustain themselves. Colonial powers, largely European, built wealth by extracting resources, labor, minerals, crops from Africa, Asia, and the Americas. Slavery is often described metaphorically as sucking the life from African people for the benefit of white economies. 2. Aversion to sunlight equals historical disconnect from nature. Vampires are traditionally harmed or weakened by sunlight. This has been metaphorically linked to white fragility or discomfort in raw, natural, or non-Eurocentric environments. Some critics have extended this to cultural appropriation, adopting pieces of other cultures, like music or fashion, but being burned when exposed to the full context, truth, history, or accountability. 3. Can't see their reflection equals lack of self-awareness. Vampires don't reflect in mirrors, interpreted by some as an inability to see or acknowledge themselves truthfully. This can be likened to denial of historical guilt, whitewashing of history,
critical race theory,
erasure of oppression, e.g. minimizing the impact of slavery, colonialism, or systemic racism. 4. Need for permission to enter social manipulation. Vampires must be invited in before they can enter a home. This is compared to how colonial forces often use treaties, religion, or trade as invitations before imposing domination. Today, this might reflect corporate or cultural infiltration into marginalized communities under the guise of help. 5. Immortality, enduring systems of power. Vampires live forever, much like white supremacy and colonial systems have persisted despite revolutions and reforms. Institutions such as the prison industrial complex, global capitalism, and media dominance often retain old colonial dynamics, just under new disguises. 6. Shape-shifting cultural camouflage. Vampires can transform bat, mist, or even into alluring human forms. This resembles how white supremacy adapts over time, from overt slavery to redlining, from segregation to mass incarceration. It also reflects cultural appropriation, where dominant groups adopt aspects of other cultures while remaining in power. Cultural references. Supporting this metaphor, Toni Morrison and Frantz Fanon explored how whiteness can dehumanize and consume the vitality of others. Octavia Butler, in Fledgling, reimagines vampires in a way that subverts racial tropes. Bram Stoker's Dracula has also been reinterpreted as a colonial metaphor, Dracula as the old world exploiting the new. Final note, this is not a statement about individuals, but about systems of power and symbolic critique. The vampire metaphor is a way to dramatize historical injustices and psychological patterns that have shaped the modern world. Would you like references from literature, film, or academic works that explore this metaphor further?
All right. You're slipping there, ChatGPT. All right, when we go to number 4 here, well, let's see. Number 2, aversion to sunlight. That's quite literal. They are sun dodgers. They have to have all kinds of creams and, who was it that did that video years ago about these people they, took, I think it was with an infrared lens or camera, and you could see all damage to these Edomites, and when they put on that sunblock, you can see it was just like what I have here, naturally, you know. And that's exactly what it looked like when they, it looked like they were putting on blackface, right? But that goes to show you, they were trying to mock us, in the minstrel shows and shit, Jim Crow and all that. What was his name? The first, what was his name? Was it the jazz singer? Way back, I can't remember the guy's name, piece of shit. But anyway, in blackface. But, yeah, let's go to the other one. Number 4, need permission to enter. All right. Vampires must be invited before, and I thought of course, this scripture. This is why it's a warning. All right. Let's see. I'm going. All right, and it tells you, it says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. But by that time it's too late. All right. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beast? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? Everybody just saw sinner. All right. As far as being invited in, we know the old stories of the vampires. All right. It says, so for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart, so all those broken promises and treaties and all that, yeah. All right. But in his heart he imagines how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine me. How many stories? Not just stories, but just, we're talking about actual events that happened where, my goodness, between the so-called white man and Gad alone. But let's just look over there in Africa with all the wealth and minerals and other resources, and they're so poor. Yes, he went over there, he lied and all that, but you also have some of them that he set up that were willing, all right, to take the bribe and say fuck their own people. These are the people he likes to deal with. Wow. 18. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. All right. So, yeah, it's a vampire. All right. He, in all aspects of it, psychological level. I don't even like being around him because it's just mentally exhausting. All right. Let's see what else. I'm not going to probably just like 5 minutes, but let's see what else we got.
Right now, the people
clearly he doesn't understand the spiritual aspects of it. All right.
color want to be left alone, and I'm coming to understand some of the reasons as to why some palm-colored people really hate the people of color that much. We can make cornbread out of corn. We can dance without music. We can lit fire with stones, and matter of fact, we are so strong. And when this man said that these people are European rejects, I laugh so hard because, whose grandfather left Germany escaping the military conscription. It's the orange man's grandfather. And that's why I came to agree with this man by calling them the European rejects. So, guys, welcome back to Afrojudy. Let's dive in because I know this man is spitting facts in real time, and credit belongs to Moses.
Like father, like son, if you understood her. Trump's father, fled the country, all right, instead of enlisting and serving in Germany's army and armed forces. All right, so that's going to do it. Yeah, I just use, I'll put the link if you care to, but I just wanted to use it for the point that he made earlier on. And these people are indeed, they exhibit the qualities of what? Vampire. All right. They just take and take and take and take. And they don't give a damn as far as they leave, this, all this destruction in their wake. But that's biblical. All right. They're actually telling you who they are. And they have to pay for it. They don't get away with anything, trust me. They know it. They see the writing on the wall, and they know they have a short time. So with that, I hope that you were edified after watching this video. That's what we do here at Great Millstone. Once again, Black Man drops a bone-chilling truth about white America. But it's nothing that we haven't been telling you for the longest time. All right. But I like to do this in order for some of you that, you can't quite see, especially when we say it, because we link it with the scriptures and you've been so thrown off for whatever reason. All right. You don't believe it because you believe everything that man that's in that pulpit that was set up in that pulpit, you believe what he says. All right. And he's set up to keep you from knowing who you are, keep you from knowing the truth. All right, so with that, until the next video, Shalom.